We've had so many updates to Warzone and specifically to audio over the years, and it's something that's always evolving, both in what Call of Duty do on their end and what we can do on ours to have the perfect blend of actually hearing enemy footsteps while trying to make the rest of the game still sound good as well. Which is why today I have for you the updated best audio settings in Warzone and Black Ops 6, whether you're on console or PC. We'll start with the in-game settings and with master game volume. Here I've gone for 90, but I control this mainly on my headset, which I imagine is the case for many of you too. This works well for me and ensures that none of the super loud noises ever get distorted. In terms of the breakdown, I've got gameplay music volume on 8. Really, if we wanted pure optimization for footsteps, we could put this on 0, but 8 is low enough to ensure that really. I like it for a little bit of theatre. Dialogue volume I've got on 40, which works well to ensure we can still hear important things, like the narrator telling us an enemy is dropping in, or a UAV is active in the area, but quiet enough that it doesn't override other important sounds. Then effects volume, I've put this on 100. This does include the really important sounds like footsteps. And then for cinematic music volume, similar to gameplay music volume, I've got mine on 8, but can be switched off completely. For enhanced headphone mode, I've got this switched off. It doesn't appear to make much of a difference if I'm honest. There is of course the paid option, where you can configure this setting more, which may be better, but generally I wouldn't advise anyone to be paying for this. Now, just before we get into the rest of the audio settings, if you want to unlock the brand new Dark Matter, Abyss, and Nebula camos in Black Ops 6, or grind them extremely quickly in bot lobbies, be sure to check out Mitch Cactus. They're the biggest and most reliable in Call of Duty, which will help you grind out the weekly events, camos, and all the unlocks completely legitimately. You can enjoy highly discounted COD points at up to 80% off. They have over 10,000 verified Trustpilot reviews, and you can use code SPRING for 5% off. Okay, now back to the settings. For audio mix, it's a toss-up between headphone bass boost and sucker punch. Headphone bass boost is great because it does have a tight dynamic range, meaning that the volume difference between the loudest and lowest noises is minimalized, so you've got more chance of hearing quieter sounds like footsteps, and it does boost lower end frequency sounds too, which is where footsteps register. So I personally currently prefer this. But like I say, sucker punch is good too because it has the tightest dynamic range of all, so it brings up the quietest sounds as much as possible. The only issue is everything just sounds super loud and a little weird and distorted. For mono audio, make sure this is switched off, as this ensures that stereo audio is enabled, meaning that we get directional sound. So if someone is running around to the right, we actually hear that in our right ear, for example. For mute licensed music, that's very much up to you. If you ever want to share clips online though, you may want to ensure that this is enabled, just so you don't get any copyright strikes. Now we're on to asymmetrical hearing compensation, and actually I would advise switching this on because we're going to configure some frequency intensities. So as I've mentioned, footsteps register in the lower end of frequencies. So we want to be increasing the volume of these lower end frequencies of 250 Hz and 500 Hz. I've put the lowest up by 45 and 500 Hz by 30, and then I've gone ahead and done that for both channels. This makes it so much easier to hear footsteps whilst having the rest of the game still sound fantastic. Then for reduced tinnitus sound, have this enabled. Now let's talk about some extra system specific settings we can tweak to improve audio on Warzone 2. If you are on PS5, there is a new setting option called Audio Focus. If you aren't seeing this option yet, by the way, make sure you have the latest update downloaded. So if you are on PS5, you want to go to Audio Focus and put the focus type on Boost Quiet Sounds. This seems to be the best option for hearing footsteps in Warzone. However, it does kind of depend on your headset a little bit, so if you're still thinking it doesn't sound great, try out Boost Low Pitch. I know the descriptions say that Boost High Pitch is for footsteps, but I'm telling you, this is not where they register in Warzone. This is a nice, quick and simple way to actually have a big impact on hearing footsteps. But as I noted a little earlier with Sucker Punch, when we're altering the frequency volumes, we can make the game sound not as good and generally less immersive. For PC, there's been a long-standing setting change that has given them an audio advantage, and that's with sound equalisation, or sound EQ for short. For this, you just go to Sound Settings, more sound settings, properties on whatever audio device you're using, enhancements, and then enable loudness EQ. Then for Xbox, if you do have an Xbox specific headset, you can go into the accessories app and configure the equalization right there in the app. Again, you would want to boost the lower end frequencies, or even just flick on the bass boost option. One step further would be to download the Xbox Dolby app on the Xbox, where you'll have the customization of equalization for all headsets and more frequency options. The downside here is that it does cost money. It's a one-off payment of about £12. There is, however, a trial option for 7 days if you do want to try it out first. So they are all of the best audio settings for Warzone right now. Hopefully you do find them useful. And if you do want to improve all of your other settings too, then check out these videos on the latest best graphics and controller settings in Warzone.